Assalamu alaikum everyone. This is the lecture number 16th of systematics. If you have not checked out the previous lectures on this subject, then you can go to my channel and check out the playlist section. There you can find the systematics, and I have uploaded 15 lectures on systematics, and now this is the 16th one. So previously we have discussed about race, and now we are going to talk about Cline. So before getting into the Cline, I would like you to go to Google and search out Cline in English. What is Cline? So what is Cline? It is like the you see, it is just the gradient. Now what is the gradient? We have already discussed about osmosis. Like osmosis is the movement of the water from the high water potential or the high water concentration to the low water concentration. Now this is the gradient. How it is the gradient? That we divide the attributes of the characters along the scale. Suppose this is the highest point, we say that it is the if I talk about temperature as the character, then I would say that here it is very high temperature, then it would be high, moderate, low, and then very low. So this is how I have drawn the gradient of the temperature: very high, high, moderate, low, and very low. Similarly, you can draw the Cline or the gradient for any other character, like the grades, okay, excellent, good, best, okay, poor, such type of grades. So this is the Cline. Okay, so if I talk about Cline in systematics, then first of all we will see that this was the term proposed by the scientist Huxley in 1939, and it is not a taxonomic category. The way we said that variety is not a taxonomic category, race is not a taxonomic category, similarly Cline is not a taxonomic category, and it has not any nomenclatural recognition. Alright, now what is Cline? Cline is the character gradient of the species. Okay, this is the gradient. Now what gradient? The gradient of the characters of the species. We will further explain it. Okay, now this character gradient, it is distributed over the geographical area. Means if this is any geographical area, then the characters will be distributed from one point to the other point. Okay, so in the Cline there are the genetic differences among the populations. There is another definition for the Cline, that Cline is the ecotypes. Okay, Cline is the ecotype of the species. Now what are the ecotypes? Ecotypes is nothing. Ecotypes is just the group of the individuals. What are ecotypes? Ecotypes are the group of the individuals. Now what is so specific about these group of individuals? Why are we calling them ecotypes? So the specificity is that these group of individuals, they vary genetically. Okay, now these are the same species, they are distributed over the character gradient. Okay, the same species, they are distributed over the character gradient, but with their genetic differences. Now they vary genetically with respect to geographic distribution. So the way I said that, suppose this is a geographic area, and from here to here there is the same species, but the characters of the species, they are varying from this point to this point. Now this is due to the genetic differences. Okay, so what are ecotypes? Ecotypes are the group of individuals which are varying genetically with respect to the geographic area. So there are some other definitions of the Cline, that these are the series of the population. Now what is specific about these series of population? That in these series of population there is a gradual change. Gradual change occurs in these series of population. And what is that change is about? That change is about the their characters and their attributes, they gradually change, gradually, or the gradient. Okay, when we talk about gradient, then it means it is gradual. Okay, this is gradual, this is not a sudden one. Okay, so there can be many different lines, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, there can be very different lines and many clients, and the number of the clients, it depends on the number of the characters or the attributes on which we are forming our clients. Okay, so uh, we will create many different clients on the basis of their characters or attributes. The more the characters or attributes, the more the clients. All right, now we will talk about the types. The clients can be very smooth, they can be stepped. Smooth is just like this. They can be stepped like this. Okay, and there can be the certain chains of the values. Now we will see the example for the clients. To see the example, we have to read about the two rules. The first rule is the Bergmans rule. These rules are named on the name of the scientist. Bergmans rule and Allen's rule. Now, what do we study in Bergmans rule? So, Bergmans rules is about the species or the shapes. Okay, and according to this rule, the sheeps in the cold regions in the northern areas, they are very bulky, they are very heavy, and they have a very large body volume. Means the massive sheeps are present in the cold areas or the northern regions. Like we have studied, the animals who have the large body weight or they are heavy, it prevents them from like getting cold. Okay, another specificity is that they would have many hair or the thick coat of hair on their skin, on their body. Okay, so that it would prevent them from the cold. Okay, so this was the Bergman's rule, that body volume is very heavy in the cold regions. Now if I draw earth like this, so the body volume in the cold regions of the earth of the sheep, it would be very heavy. Okay, now there is the Allen's rule. Now what is he talking about? He is explaining the extremities. Okay, now what are the extremities? Extremities are the outer or the parts that are in the air. Okay, the body parts that are out of the body, just like or fingers or arms or nose, these are the extremities. Similarly, or ear. Similarly, what are the extremities of the elephant? The ear of the elephant and the tusk of the elephant, it is the extremities. Okay, means the parts outside of the body. Okay, coming out of the body. So Allen's rule is about the extremities of the species, and extremities, they vary in the hot areas and the cold areas of the same species. Okay, so we were talking about sheep. Now that same species of sheep in the cold area, its extremities would be small. Okay, means its outer parts, its ear or its nose and its face, okay, it would be small. And in the hot areas, the extremities would be larger. Okay, so if I further explain this concept with your like daily example, daily life example, you see that in summers when you feel very hot, then you lie down under the fan on the bed like this, like you will raise up your hands like this and you will spread your legs like this. Okay, so you are maximizing your surface area. Your body is now exposed to the air, and you can now feel cool, okay, under the fan. And similarly, in the winters, how would you sleep and how would you lie on your bed? You will you will curve. Okay, so that you will like minimize your body surface area, and it will prevent you from getting cold, and you will feel warm in this way and you will feel cool in this way. Okay, so this is all about like maximizing or minimizing your extremities or your body surface area. So in hot areas, the larger extremities, they would help in the evaporation and forming the cooling effect. And similarly, the smaller extremities, they would prevent from cold. Okay. So this was the example of the client, that that species of the sheep has like large body volume, heavy and bulky in the cold areas, and the extremities are larger. But as we gradually move down the southern areas, the same species of the sheep, they are changed. Now they have smaller extremities and their body volume would be not much as large as it was in the colder areas or the northern areas. So this is the example of the latitudinal cline. As you see the character, these are the characters: the body volume, the bulkiness, the heaviness, the presence of the extremities, okay, larger extremities and smaller extremities. What these are the characters, okay. So these characters, they are varying gradually over the geographic area. This is geographic area, the cold region and the hot region. These are the geographic areas. So these characters, they are varying gradually from one area to the other area. Similarly, the way we said that Cline are the character gradients. So this was the gradient of the character, okay, over the geographical area, and how these characters, they are made and how this is distributed. This is distributed why the species in the hot areas have larger extremities, and the why the sheeps in the cold areas have the smaller extremities. The reason is this is due to the genetical differences. So what is Cline? Cline is the character gradient over the geographic area, and why that character gradient is built? It is built upon the basis of the genetic differences. Then we saw that Clines are the ecotypes of the species. Then we saw that what are the ecotypes? Ecotypes means the group of the individuals, means the populations. Why do we call them ecotypes? Because they are varying genetically. There are some kind of genetic differences among them with respect to the geographical distribution. Like on the over the surface area, there is the genetical differences. That's why the character gradient occurs, which is the Cline. I hope this concept is cleared. If you have any confusion regarding this concept, you can ask in the comment section. And in the next lecture, we will talk about isophene.